Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here. Look, if you're studying for your CMA exam right now, you probably already know that the performance management section can sometimes feel like this massive, confusing maze of numbers. But hey, take a deep breath because you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we're stepping into a clean, minimalist whiteboard masterclass designed specifically to demystify product profitability analysis. I've helped countless students navigate these exact CMA trenches, and my absolute top goal today is to make these concepts so crystal clear that you'll literally be smiling when you see them on exam day. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and start with a hard truth. You've likely spent hours, maybe days, learning how to calculate cost of goods sold and gross profit. But in the real world, and especially on the exam, gross profit is a bit of a liar. The harsh reality here is that a product can look incredibly profitable just sitting right there on the shelf, while behind the scenes, it's actually a massive resource hog. Product profitability analysis is the tool we use to peel back those layers. To keep us perfectly on track, here's our syllabus for today's whiteboard session. First, the gross profit illusion. Second, the contribution margin truth. Third, the whale curve phenomenon. Fourth, activity-based costing integration. And finally, strategic decision-making. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have mastered exactly what you need for the exam. Let's get right into it with Section 1, the gross profit illusion. So the core goal of our analysis today is to uncover the true economic contribution of every single unit you sell. It's not just about what a product costs to make. It's about whether that product is actually paying its rent on your factory floor. Think about it. If a product requires immense administrative overhead, constant quality checks, and highly customized shipping, well, standard costing might just miss all of that. We need a reliable way to see if it's truly carrying its own weight. Moving right along to Section 2, the contribution margin truth. To really succeed on the CMA exam, you gotta stop thinking like a financial tax accountant and start thinking like a true management accountant. A traditional or absorption income statement focuses entirely on function, separating things into manufacturing versus selling. But a contribution margin income statement, that brilliantly focuses on behavior. It splits costs by whether they are variable or fixed. Understanding how costs behave when production goes up or down is absolutely crucial. It's the ultimate key to internal decision-making. The big takeaway here is the product contribution margin formula. It's simply revenue minus variable manufacturing costs minus variable selling costs. Now, a really common question I get, actually scratch that, I get this almost every single semester, is wait, why do we include variable selling costs? Well, if you sell one more unit, that specific sales commission or that specific shipping cost is going to happen. It's totally unavoidable, so we have to subtract it from revenue to see what's actually left over. If that resulting contribution margin is positive, congratulations, that product is actively helping your company cover its fixed keeping the lights on costs. All right, Section 3, the whale curve phenomenon. 200%. I want you to just let that number sink in for a second. In a surprising number of companies, a mere 20% of their products generate 200% of their total profit. I know that sounds mathematically impossible at first glance, right? How on earth can you have 200% of your total profit? Well, it happens because the bottom tier of products in a company's lineup are often so wildly unprofitable that they're literally eating the profits made by the star products. The stars make 200%, the dogs lose 100%, leaving the company with a net 100%. This is the crazy, counterintuitive reality of how profitability is actually distributed across a company. When you're looking at a product line to figure out who the stars and the dogs are, you really want to contrast them like this. Your bread and butter products are usually high volume and low complexity. They're standard, easy to make, super reliable. But on the other hand, you have your profit suckers. These guys are low volume and high complexity. They require special machine setups, custom packaging, extra inspections, the whole shebang. Standard costing completely misses the financial drain these complex products cause, which makes them look deceptively profitable. Which brings us to Section 4, activity-based costing integration. Put a massive mental star next to this one because examiners absolutely love to test this. Let's look at a classic trap where they always try to trip students up. Imagine product A and product B. According to standard costing, they both use exactly $10 of labor. So they look totally identical on paper. But let's look closer. Product A requires 5 separate engineering changes, while product B requires 0. If we just look at standard labor, we are completely blind to those hidden activities. Because of all those engineering changes, product A is heavily draining resources and is far, far less profitable than a standard ledger shows. Here's a little insider shortcut just for you. If you get a multiple choice question on the exam asking how a company can improve the accuracy of its product profitability analysis, immediately scan those answers. The correct answer is almost always going to be identify better cost drivers or use activity-based costing. To truly uncover those hidden profit suckers, you have to trace the cost of the activities, like those engineering changes or custom setups, directly to the specific products causing them. Finally, Section 5, Strategic Decision-Making. So, what do you actually do when you identify an underperforming product, one of those profit suckers? You generally have three strategic choices. Step 1, raise the price. Let's see if the market is actually willing to pay for the cost of all that complexity. Step 2, optimize the process. You can use lean manufacturing tools to strip out unnecessary variable costs and make the product way more efficiently. Or, Step 3, drop the product entirely. But listen closely. I have to offer a critical warning right here. You should only drop a product if the fixed costs you can avoid by dropping it are greater than the contribution margin you're going to lose. If dropping the product doesn't actually save you on those fixed costs, your overall company profits, they're just going to shrink. Before we finish up, I want to leave you with this quick review summary. This is going to make sure you feel completely supported and exam ready. It breaks down exactly what you need to remember. Gross profit is revenue minus COGS, and it's strictly for external GAAP reporting. Contribution margin is revenue minus all variable costs, and its main purpose is internal decision-making, basically answering the question, can we pay the bills? And finally, operating margin takes that contribution margin and subtracts traceable fixed costs, allowing you to evaluate the specific viability of a product line. I highly recommend taking a mental snapshot of this right now. I want to wrap up this masterclass with an empowering and memorable mantra that beautifully summarizes this entire shift in perspective. Say it with me. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, but contribution is reality. Literally anybody can boast about top-line revenue, but as management accountants, we know that true reality lives in the contribution margin. That is where the actual economic value of a product is finally revealed. You all did fantastic today. To keep that great momentum going, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really test your active learning. Grab your study materials and try to calculate this out. How exactly do avoidable fixed costs impact the decision to drop a product line? Think back to our strategic steps. If you can answer that confidently, you are well on your way to acing the exam. Keep practicing, trust the process, and I am just so excited to see you master this material. Good luck with your studies.